Music Russia.
So she ran into the bedroom, she was struck down, it was her doom. You okay? So Elliot, you okay? Are you okay, Eddie? Elliot, you okay? So Elliot, you okay? Are you okay, Eddie? Elliot, you okay? So Elliot, you okay? Are you okay, Eddie? Elliot, you okay? So Elliot, you okay? Are you okay, Eddie? Elliot, you okay? Will you tell us that you okay? That the side of the window, that it's not you. I can send your Eddie, take it to your heart. And the blood shakes, I'm a confident.
Good evening, groovers and smoothers. Are we in the mood for some scambaiting tonight? Hang on a sec, just make sure I've got a notepad, because they're always important to have when you're live scambaiting. But do I have a pen? How's everyone doing? Oh, there's a little gang of beautiful people rolling in cement shoes. G'day, Groover. Lovely Emily, how are you, gorgeous? Autumn's definitely upon us now. Hey, Kylie, how are you, gorge? We're doing a bit of scambaiting tonight. I've got a scammer on the hook, and he's the dumbest scammer I've ever encountered. I'm going to have to get you up to speed on where I am with him. Aussie Tad, hello. Woman of many talents. My hair looks great. Well, thank you so much. I washed it today. It's actually quite feral. I washed my hair. Are you listening, Molly Golightly? This is what your hair looks like when you wash it. It's feral, man. Feral. But thank you. I'll take any compliments right now. It's what, 8:30 on a Thursday night? Maybe I should have, put some makeup on. I like going live without it. I like you guys seeing what I'm like when I'm at home. And it feels weird putting makeup on at like 8 o'clock at night when I'm going to be going to bed after this. I just got to take it all off again. But yeah, scambaiting is a lot of fun. And I think with Stefan, it's safe to say that I'm probably not going to elicit a huge amount of information that I can pass on to the Australian Consumer Commission. But at the very least, I can waste his time, and that means he's not scamming someone else. Although I don't know if this guy has successfully scammed anyone, to be honest. But yeah, it's worth it for the laugh, if nothing else. What do you know, Shagger? I know I love you. Just a little quick update on the scamming nightmare that we endure all over the world. But just in Australia alone last year, Aussies lost $40.6 million just to the romance scams. Now, there's a lot of different scam betas on social media platforms, and they all have the same mission, which is hopefully bring an end to this horrible thing. It's a pandemic, really. It's pretty bad. Well, maybe it's an epidemic, but we all have different scammers we target. A lot of people do the sort of tech scammers, people like Kip Boga, awesome scam beta. I do the romance scams because it's just easier for me. I don't know how to set up like fake bank accounts and hook up my phone and all of that sort of stuff. Oh, thanks, Emily. And I love you just the way you are too. Isn't that a shitload of money? 40.6 million, and that's just the romance scams. Your son works for a bank. He just says he wants to give them more money, but his bank will only allow transfers to an Aussie account and then dobs them in. Brilliant. So, yeah, some of my scambaiting over the years, I've managed to get a lot of information that I've passed on to the ACCC. But this particular dude, I think it's more about wasting his time, and that means hopefully sparing somebody else from him, at the moment. That's really, I think, all we're going to get out of Stefan. You'll know what I'm talking about in a minute. So yeah, the ScamWatch data. ScamWatch is part of the ACCC. 3,699 romance scams, $40 million for under 4,000 scams. But what they do, as you probably all know, is they have fake profiles on social media platforms and they contact their victims that way, which is how Stefan and I have connected. You'll see our history shortly. But also, as Katrina Lowe says from the ACCC, the real number of scams and money lost could be even higher because a lot of people don't actually report it. Many people are just so embarrassed that they fell for it. So, yeah, the figure could be way worse than that. So that's why we do this. It's about creating awareness because by showing you what I'm doing with a scammer, it might show some red flags, and I certainly point them out as we go along, things to look out for, like bad grammar. Stefan's a pro at that. Yeah, there's not many that do romance scams. I think because you've got to have patience, which I do have by the bucket load. The Soft Six, which is my series on this channel, went for not a year, but about 9 months. I was chatting to this scammer. And it's bloody funny too. If you ever want to laugh, go back and watch the Soft Six. There's also a website for it, but yeah, it's an absolute doozy. Yep, and a lot of desperate romance hopefuls. And the thing is, they pay for the dream, you know. They're paying money to someone because they want the romance and everything else. I've been listening to some videos on a scam channel that exposing scammers, but I have real issues with how they're set up and what they do. They ask people who've been scammed to leave comments under videos, and then they basically contact them and use their story. And I don't have a problem with that, but they constantly plug their website and encourage people to become a member because they've got all these tools on their website, like basically reverse image searches and stuff like that, which you can get for free out and about. And it kind of bugs me. I almost feel like they're scamming people too. If you really genuinely, I believe, want this to stop, you would offer all of that stuff for free to people, not make them pay to access your tools, many of which are already available for free online. And then there's channels like mine and other channels exposing scammers where people can learn about, you know, how to identify scammers and so on. So, yeah, I'm a bit uncomfortable with how some of them operate. They're certainly getting what they pay for, but they shouldn't have to be paying for it. Yeah, Soft Six is a classic. Yeah, and wasting their time is another really important thing. Like Kip Boga, he is brilliant at wasting the tech scammers' time, and he's highly entertaining as well. But yeah, Stefan and I are already now moving over onto Google Hangouts or whatever it's called now, like the Gmail chat. Yeah, it's brilliant, and it's a good creative writing exercise too. Now I'm going to present the conversation that started on Instagram. But I have been chatting to him tonight for about half an hour, and he's already requested a Gmail chat. So I'm using the email address I use for all of the scammers. And we'll be moving over there to chat with him live, but I just need to run through this and get you up to speed on Stefan. So I originally thought he was German with a name like Stefan, but also Hello Freund back in November last year. He said hi again. I responded in November. He asked me how I was doing and I ignored him. I think I found, that was around the time I found the Soft Dave from the Untied States of America. So we got caught up in him instead, and Stefan wasn't showing any potential at that time. Anyway, he said hello quite a few times in January. I was overseas. And then tonight I thought, I feel like some scam baiting, and I've got so many messages on so many different social media platforms. I was like, which one do I choose? And I chose Instagram and greeted him with an aloha. Good morning from him. How are you? So this is Stefan over here on the left and me on the right. I don't know if anyone wants to jump up and read the part of Stefan till we go live with him. Otherwise, I can just run through this as quickly as possible. He thinks I've gone to work at the moment, so I bought a bit of time. And yeah, I don't think this guy, like, normally when I'm chatting to scammers, there's a lot of delays, and it's like, okay, they're juggling, half a dozen people at the moment. They've got all these other people on the hook they're trying to get money out of. Stefan's pretty quick to respond. I don't think Stefan's a very busy scammer, and you'll know why in a minute. So I'll just go back over to Instagram and share the conversation we had. How are you, I ask, pretending to give a shit. I'm doing good. Thanks for accepting my request. Where are you from, Tori? Now, that kind of weirded me out a bit because my name on Instagram isn't Tori. Maybe it's in my description. I don't know. I don't use Instagram a lot. But, like, how did he know that's my name? They always ask about eating food and stuff, so I went straight in because he said, good morning. Are you eating breakfast? Yes, he says, and you? And I said, what's on the menu? Potato and salad and chicken for fucking breakfast. They always like chicken. It's often chicken, rice, and sauce, or rice and chicken sauce. I get that one a lot. This dude's got potatoes and salad as well for breakfast. So for breakfast, wow, breakfast of champions. It's dinner time here. I'm eating dinner right now, and I was eating an incredible prawn curry that I made last night for my sister and I. I had the day 2 prawn curry. Oh, my God, divine. And then he says, oh, you're funny. I'm not sure which comment was that he thought was funny. Maybe the breakfast of champions. I said allegedly. And then he says, okay, that's very delicious. But he didn't actually ask me what I was eating. I asked him if he was funny, and he didn't answer that. He just asked me, where are you from? I said, what's very delicious? Your potato and salad and chicken? I come from the land down under. What about you? Are you from United States of America? Now here we go. This guy's grammar is appalling. So bad, in fact, even he apologizes for it. I said, no, mate, the land down under. Okay. I said, where women glow and men plunder. Where are you from? Don't you want to know what I'm having for dinner? Well, and this is one of the biggest scammer red flags of all. They don't say I am. They start sentences with am, just like this guy. So, well, am from Dublin, Ireland, but currently live Bakersfield. Isn't it Bakersfield, California? I work as a contractor of marine engineer. Now, pay attention to what he's telling me he does for a job, right? I work as a contractor of marine engineer, BP oil and gas companies in Yemen High Sea. I play a character, Kylie. I've got several characters that I play. This one I'm not sure. Well, I've sort of set a few things up, but yeah. Hello, Wake the Truck Up. Welcome to some live scambaiting. Probably best not to tell them about the lawyer thing. No. I don't have to chat with me for very long. So, yeah, just pay attention to that, though, apart from the fact that he's from Dublin, Ireland, but lives in Bakerfield. I'm sure it's Bakersfield. Where's Cement Shoes? Can you vouch? It's Bakersfield, right? Like there's an S in there. But also that he's a contractor of marine engineer, BP oil and gas companies in Yemen High Sea. Not the high seas of Yemen. There are always lots of things. This is my first marine engineer, but it's not my first oil rig dude. I'm pretty sure he's an oil rig dude. Another red flag. Hope you don't mind for us to be friends. Because he said he was from Ireland, I'm like, top of the morning to you. Expecting a bit of, Irish banter. You're in the Yemen High Sea. That sounds rough. Yes, my dear, I'm here now in the high sea with a smiley face. Hope you don't mind for us to be friends, Tori. Are you literally in the high sea whilst eating potato and salad and chicken? And then I said, we are friends, aren't we? Yes, I just cook it by myself here in the high sea, okay? It's still in the fucking high sea, cooking as well. Where the flip is Yemen? Kylie. Yes, Yemen Island. Kylie, you need to Google where Yemen is. Trust me, you'd know more about it already, even though you asked where it is, than he does. But he's in the high sea cooking. He's cooking chicken, potato, and salad. Thanks for accepting me as your friend. I promise to be honest and sincere friend to you. Nice meeting you. Straight away, another red flag. They're all about honesty and truth. I've spoken to this guy for like, at this point, 5 minutes, and he's already laying that on thick. Yeah. I said, well, the reason I said we are friends, aren't we? I said, didn't we boink after the boat races at Oxford University in 1987? I thought that's where I knew you from. And he's like, oh, sorry, didn't we know each other before? And then I said, but then Bukaki, hard to remember all the names. This is why I had to go live. I'm having too much fun with him on my own. I'm like, go live and share the love. Oh, thank you, Cement Shoes. I like Yemen Island. Yeah, so I've already thrown Bukaki. Not responding, ignoring everything I'm saying. And he says, okay. I said, I thought we were old university friends, but I could be wrong. My memory from that time is very dodgy due to all the pot and booze, And he gave that a love heart. He's a party animal. I bet there's a trout in the high. Stop it. No trout lady. So I'm just happy to have a new friend, and he loved that as well. Well, I will appreciate that we're a good friendship in sincerity, honesty, and trust. Even though we just knew each other, we can exchange ideas and discuss more topics as we talk more about ourselves. And as time goes on, maybe something great will happen to us in the future. Now, I'm pretty sure that's just a cut and paste job from somewhere because suddenly his grammar has improved significantly. Let me just chuck that into the Google machine. Okay, so it's from an article called Why is Honesty Important in a Friendship? 28 Reasons. This is one of the reasons, I'm guessing. I'm sure he's going to give me more. Definite cut and paste. Definite. And I said, well, you never know, Stefan. You never know. All that sincerity, honesty, and trust will build over time. Of course, honesty is very important in life. See, when he goes back to being him, look how quickly the grammar slides. I said, oh, it is, but we've only been chatting for 10 minutes. Bit soon to be saying I trust you completely. I mean, you couldn't say you trust me 100% already, could you? He says, of course we can truly trust each other completely because he's a dipshit. This is what hooks people in, using all these trust, honesty, truth sort of words. I'm onto him, obviously, but I'm trying to play a role. But there's a dash of cynicism coming from me. I'm not going to lie. And I said, just so you know, I am an honest person, but it's important to build trust. I said, are you out of the high sea now? Are you out? Did you get out of the water, essentially? He says, me too. I'm an honest person who have heart of giving to someone else. Well, I probably wouldn't give your heart to someone else, dipshit. You're going to drop dead if you do. I said, or are you still in it? Then he says, of course, I'm a simple man in my life. He's got his little script, and it's really bad. Hey, Serenity B. I'll enjoy listening while cleaning. Hopefully this will motivate you and you'll be finished before you even realise. If, may I ask, are you happily married? He's not answering my question if he's still literally in the water or not. And then the comment to the simple man is where I said, really? And he added a love heart to that, of course. I said, well, you don't sound like a simple man from your glamorous international life. Am I happily married? No, I'm unhappily married. Yeah, she's itching for an affair with a dude in the Yemen high seas. And then he blasts me with this bullshit. Another red flag. There's always a dead wife and a kid, right? Well, I don't like talking about the death of my late wife, but we hadn't been talking about her at all at this point, but he's banged straight in. He doesn't like talking about it, but here's a friggin' essay about it. Because he always makes me sad. So, okay, the wife's maybe a dude, because he always made me sad whenever I flash back to it. But, well, I've lost my wife for years ago now. She had an accident on her way coming back from supermarket. No grammar, no punctuation. Poor thing. On the way home from the supermarket, I hope she didn't buy ice cream. That would have melted. Life totally became miserable to me. It's very painful to lose someone you love. She's the only one I have in my life, or not anymore. She is my mother. What? Hang on. Am I everything? But death take her away from me. What a sad tale of woe. It even ended with his emoji tears. Okay, rewind. You don't like talking about the death of your late wife, even though you brought it up, because he always makes you sad. Okay, so, I mean, that's fine. You can call him your wife whenever you flash back to it, but you lost your wife for years ago now. Okay, she have an accident on her way coming back from supermarket. Life totally became miserable to me. It's very painful to lose someone you love. She's the only one I have in my life. She's my mother and my everything. But death take her away from me. I think he should. Oh, I'm going to be married to a loaded man, for sure. The grammar police do need to arrest him stat. Yeah, mother and wife and he. Yeah, stick to the cut and paste. I agree. But I'm not going to point these flaws out, because that's one thing when you're scambaiting you don't want to do is correct them too often. Like sometimes you kind of have to take the piss, but well, I do. But I don't want to like get in the habit of going, your grammar's shit. That's not a place. Like you're making this up, because then they improve their scripts. So I said, wait, your wife is dead and she had a car full of shopping and she's your mother? Did I read that right? And you don't like talking about it, but you just told me about it. Now I'm sad. So I gave him the teary emoji, a giant version, and then he responded with a similar one. It's very painful to me when I lost the love of my life. Well, God knows what happened for everything. I'm still, thank God for everything, because I'm still alive and I won't give up for anything in life. And what could I say to that? But that's the spirit. God knows what the fuck he's talking about. Then I said, sorry, I just had to go to the ladies' room. He said, okay, do you have children here? Do you have a children? Sorry, he asks. And I say, oh, God, no, yuck. Oh, sorry, that was a bit full on. Do you? I have one lovely son, but he's currently in boarding school in Bakersfield, California. Wait a minute. Let's go back to the death essay. She is the only one I have in my life. Apparently not. Hey, Bristol, welcome to some live scambaiting. Apparently she's not. There's this one lovely son he forgot all about. So, yeah, he has one lovely son, but currently in boarding school. See, Bakersfield, now there's an S, California. Mind you, I did a typo there, but, you know, how delightful. After I've said, oh, God, no, yuck, when he asked me if I had children. I'm sure he's lovely. What be his name? His name is Kevin. I said, no way. I have a goat called Kevin. I named him after the book we need to talk about, Kevin. Have you read that book? It's a rollicking good read. And then he says, but I also called he Raymond too. Okay, now I'm starting to worry about this guy. He's in boarding school, of course. He's going to get sick. I'm going to have to send him a birthday present. You know, we know all of this stuff is coming. I said, no way. I also have a goat called Raymond. Kevin is technically Kevin number 2. I used to have Kevin number 1, named after the kid in Home Alone, but he died, so we ate him one Christmas. Quite chewy from memory. Doesn't Kevin, also known as Raymond, get confused if you call him by 2 different names? I don't understand you. So, yeah, in answer to my earlier question, are you funny? No, Stefan's not. And I said, neither does Kevin Raymond. I don't understand you. Kevin Raymond doesn't either. He's like, Dad, which name? And why those 2 names? Seriously. It's a rollicking good read, isn't it, Cement Shoes? Creepy. Kevin Raymond be like, why do I have 2 names? I give my son 2 names, okay? I said, okay, well, how old is Kevin Raymond? And yeah, of course it's okay. You do whatever you want when it comes to naming a kid. Not my place to judge. He's 9 years old. What do you do for a living to overcome economic expenses and to sustain yourself and your family? Just ask me what I do for a job, mate. We're all overcoming economic expenses and, money is how you sustain yourself and your family if you have one, which I've clearly said I don't. I guess I've got 2 goats called Kevin and Raymond, weirdly. I said, well, that's a great question. How full on are economic expenses right now? Life is expensive, am I right? I'm a doctor. Oh, really? Yep. He is rubbing his hands together now. He's got a little doctor on the hook, he thinks. Are you a doctor? Yes. A proctologist. Shit job, but the money is great. Tell me that is not like just banging out one-liners left, front, center. He doesn't ask me what a proctologist is, by the way. I thought that was great. Comedy gold. Okay, that's very nice job you have, my dear friend, he says with a big grin, because, yeah, he is salivating. How old are you, if I may ask? I said, thank you. I studied hard to become a doctor, hence no crotch goblins, aka children, but no regrets either. Currently, I'm not disclosing my age. It's just a number. He says, I know. And then I said, let's just say I'm around the same age as Michael Flatley. I wanted to drop an Irish person into the conversation, and then I Googled Michael Flatley. Sadly, he's got an aggressive form of cancer I didn't know about, but also he's well into his 60s. My bad. But this guy isn't Irish and has no fucking idea who Lord of the Dance is, so no harm. Just tell me, how old are you with prayer hands? Please, just tell me. I said irrelevant for now. Next question. Well, honestly, I'm 58 years old, Tori. What about you? I said, I'm younger than you, but only by 10 years. So I'm making myself 48, right? It's a pain in the ass job. Oh, my God. Next time. Susan Boyle's pick. I've used quite a few. I used to have Britney Spears on one of my scamming. I can't remember who got Britney. Maybe it was the Soft Six. Someone got Britney Spears in a bikini in a living room. So I tell him I'm younger than him by 10 years. And then he says, okay, what about you tell me? I said, you can't deduct 10 from your age to work it out? That's like the most basic maths ever. Even Kevin Raymond could do it. The answer is 48, Stefan. Let's talk about something else. Why do you like living in Bakersfield? And then he says, age is just a number. What matters most is trust and understanding. I said, at that age, I said that ages ago. You're the one pushing for the number, Stefan. Now tell me about Bakersfield. What do you do there when you're not in the high seas of Yemen? Like, tell me, you 3, for now I'm writing like him. Tell me you 3 favourite things to do there with cute little Kevin Raymond. And then I get this response. Now, this is different to what he told me at the start. Now, I am an oil and gas technician and I am working as a quality control and field engineer in Cabo Oil and Gas Company, and we're currently working in the Yemen High Sea. You friggin' liar. Hey, Steph, how are you, beautiful? Have not seen you forever. We're doing some live scambaiting. Welcome, gorgeousness. Trust, understanding, and gullibility. But he lied. Like he mentioned BP. I mean, I call all of this shit out. Well, a little bit of it, because I just said, you told me that, although I thought you said BP. Never mind. What does that have to do with Bakersfield? And then there was a bit of silence. I'm like, Bueller. He's clearly Googling Bakersfield to think, to find some things to do. And then he responds, if the death of my father, my mom, Irish people don't say mom, take me to Bakersfield, California, and we leave there. I'm assuming he's trying to tell me that after the death of his dad, his mum took him to Bakersfield, California, and they continue to live there. I said, if only Kevin Raymond could leave there too, right? And then he says, sorry about my English. You're off from work today. Woo! Have some fun while we live scambait. I've never had a scammer ever apologize for their shitty English. Ever. I said, I noticed your English is a little, is it your second language? He says, oh, I see. It's okay. I said, what is your first language? Hello? Dublin. But I always speak English language to people, always. Well, you haven't brushed up on it in your 58 years, mate. And Dublin isn't a language. Irish is. But yeah, he's fluent in Dublin. Whoop, 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 whoop. The sad thing is, guys, is that there are women and men out there who are this far into a conversation with someone and they're always like, oh my God, he's so sweet. He's all about trust and honesty. And poor man, he's working in the high seas and his kid is in a boarding school in California and his wife's dead, his dad's dead, and he's got a great job. His English is a bit weird, but he speaks fluent Dublin. There's no alarm bells going off for me at all. This one's a keeper. Oh, you're fluent in Dublin. Right, that makes so much sense. My son leave in school in Bakersfield, California. Now, we all know when he says leave, he means live. Yeah, he's already told me that about Kevin Raymond several times after he told me his wife was all he had and now this kid that he seems to not be able to stop talking about. So I said, so he's a boarder. And then he ignores that question and asks, how long have you been using Instagram to communicate with friends and family? And I said, oh, no fucking idea. A few years maybe, not sure. What about you? Well, honestly, I'm a newcomer on Instagram and I'm still learning how to use it. I checked out his profile. He has 5 photos, 3 of a man, 1 of a man with a kid and 1 of the kid on his own. He's got like 9. He's following 9 people. I took screenshots of all of them, but I'm not going to, you can see there's a bit of a photo in the corner there, but I won't be showing that guy because that guy is a victim in this too. He's had his photos stolen by this scammer. I said, look, I don't really use it much at all, but it's better than Facebook. That place sucks. And then he says, me too. I said, I really just chat to friends on here most of the time or watch middle-aged men dancing in their kitchens. You don't do that, do you? Why are there so many middle-aged men dancing in their kitchens on Instagram? Holy shit. My sister and I send videos to each other every day of them. There's a couple that we find particularly annoying. But anyway, just thought he'd, see if he was one of those guys too. I said, they're annoying as fuck. And he said, oh, I'm sorry, with a sad face. It's not that big a deal, mate. Are you always on social media? Not really, no. It's hard to when you're a busy doctor. Speaking of, I have to go for a few minutes, Stefan. Just got a call to go to the hospital as a patient is prolapsing. Shouldn't be too long. Can we chat in, say, half an hour? Like as if I'm going to get to the hospital, sort out my patient and back. But, I know this kid's going to be waiting for me to get back to him. This is not a busy scammer. And then he starts chatting about friggin' social media. I don't give a shit. He says he just started using social media almost 1 week now. Wow. Happy anniversary. I don't know why there's so many things they have in conversations that for some reason they think are important. Or that people can be like, wow, you're such an interesting dude. No. If I may ask, please, where can we chat else? Because I don't normally do chat on Facebook. I just log in sometimes and make some updates and upload some of my pictures whenever I have free time. During to the rules and regulations of the high C, they don't allow any of their co-workers to use social media, Facebook page, Instagram account, and Twitter page, etc. You lying sack of shit. But this is what they do. Another red flag. They get you off whatever social media platform and move you over to things like Google Hangouts used to be the thing back in the day. Now there's this sort of Google chat thing. Sometimes it's WhatsApp. They use like mobile phones that are sort of disposable dummy phones. Like they're not sort of valid phone numbers. It's much harder to trace them in a way, but also they're often deleted from social media platforms as being fake very quickly. So that's why they try to do that. But I'm going to stop sharing because he then begged me, sorry, I just stopped it because we exchange email addresses and I don't want to show his. But he said, I don't want to lose my job. Also, I don't still want to lose an honest woman like you. Please understand me, Tori, with like 4 prayer hands. I said, I have to get to the hospital. I'll message when I'm back home. We can talk about where to chat. Don't want you losing your job on the high seas. You pirate. Back soon. And he goes, okay, I understand you. And then he asks me if I've got a Gmail. So I did send him my Scambaiting Gmail. And then he sent me his. And then he sent me a screenshot to show that he has started a chat with me on Google Chat and has told me to meet him over there. He says, Tori, have already added you up on Google Chat there and sent you a message there. Please try to reply me when you get back from work with a prayer hand. So that is the Instagram part of our... Oh, nobody's chatting. Are you just all in awe? Or have you all started doing your housework too, like Serenity B? All right, let me find Google. And I very cleverly marked myself as being... Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, and he's turned history on, which means it'll save our conversation. I'm just going to accept him. Hang on. Now, in this Google, I am Linley. Some of you know my Linley parody character. I'm just going to move Google Gmail over to here. And I just want to see if his name comes up because... Oh, he's marked as away too. Huh. I'm going to tell him that I have 2 names as well. I'm not comfortable showing it while it's got his full name. Not because of you guys. You guys are awesome. But, you know, the way of the social media world. Oh, you're still here, Groovy, just listening, putting Butthead to bed. You're mesmerised by the dumb shit. Hey, Joey. Yeah, we've got the soft Stefan. But he's away from Gmail at the moment. Yeah, it's annoying. He's got his full name. Just looking back at some other ones, there's what was his name? What did I call that dude? Abby. Remember the soft Abby? He tried calling me in January. Then I've got the soft Dominic. He just wants all my personal information to send me money, but I stuffed around with him. I haven't spoken to him since July. Oh no, I stopped speaking to him in April last year, and he contacted me in July. Then there's Leo. I don't remember Leo. Oh, he's random. We chatted in April last year. Then there's Ray, the soft Ray. April last year. There's the soft Robbo. He's the guy that I changed my profile to like a meme. It was a quote, like a Moses quote, and it was just really funny. Like it was just a funny meme. And then he decided I was a scammer because my name was Moses. And then there's some chick I tried to scam bait, but she never responded. Stefan is still away. God damn it. Well, we've got the setup at least. So we've got part one down pat. The other thing I'd really like to do in the next, and there was Farouk. Yeah, he's not in that email address, that Gmail address. So he was nasty. He was funny though. We had fun with him, but he was nasty. Remember we were playing like the theme from Prisoner and God damn it, he gone. We'll give him a minute or two, but he's definitely away. I'm going to do a status. Looking for love in all the wrong places. Just put two little, I just typed that as my status and it's just put two little giggly eyes, you know, the little go Gmail. Well, I don't know where Stefan is. Hopefully I'll get an alert. Farouk was funny, but scary too, and gross. I did send him a message. Maybe he will come back. There's something else I do want to do on this channel. I'm not going to go into it now, but I was going to do a reaction to my mate JLR because, oh my God, that guy. I don't want to keep checking in on him, but I have to. And he spent ages postulating about whether or not Brian Koberger has got 2 or 3 possibly attorneys now because of all this information that's come out in the last 48 hours. And the really critical thing of all of it that went way over his head because he doesn't understand the law and he's a fucking idiot. Truth is a defense. the whole point of extra counsel being appointed on Koberger is because under US law, if you're a death penalty matter and the death penalty is likely to be sought, by law, you're given more than one attorney when you're using the public defender's office. That's pretty massive, you know. He's sitting there looking at the motion and going, but there's already 2 lawyers named on this motion. So is he really getting a second one or a third one? And the whole time I'm going, do you not realize that this is your law and I know about it? I mean, I did do some additional research and found all these death penalty cases where there was only one attorney, and some of them, like the attorneys, became alcoholics during the course of the trial. And so a lot of the time, just the lawyers are under so much strain because they're not just doing a criminal trial, they're also doing the death penalty trial, essentially. And it's law that you get a second attorney. So it's indicative that they are expecting the prosecution to go after the death penalty. That's big news, in my opinion. But nobody's been talking about that. They're all talking about the motion and how he's now had this second, or according to JLR, third attorney added to the file. And so I'm like, why isn't anyone a little bit more interested that this could be a DP case? And one of the things I did have to research because I wasn't sure, but the prosecution, I think they've got 30 days after the preliminary hearing to say whether or not they're pursuing the death penalty. So they've got to basically let everyone know by the end of July. Oh, there was a motion this week, and I think they need to because they're funded. And they're not actually, that was the other thing too, JLR was crapping on about, I was going to say I wasn't going to go into it on this live, but JLR was crapping on about taxpayer funded by people who pay taxes. He actually says that. He goes, it's a taxpayer, well, it's funded by the people who pay taxes. Oh, duh. But it's not. There's an actual fund that is set up to pay for this stuff. Yeah, there you go. And see, I'm not really following. I mean, I'm aware. Sorry, washed hair is doing its own thing. I'm not following that case super closely, but I know a bit about it. But yeah, I mean, there you go. But it just seems so weird. He's like live going, here's the motion. And, you know, there's already 2 attorneys listed on this paperwork. So, the media are telling everyone that he's getting a second lawyer. Is he actually getting a third? And the whole time I'm thinking, it's actually law in your country that in a death penalty case, you get a second lawyer on the books for you. You have to. And because I found all these cases. So that's something that I'm going to look into and talk about. Because, that to me is, there's not a lot with the Idaho 4 case that I'm going to go live and chat about. But this was actually quite interesting because whether there's been discussions behind the scenes at the prosecution, like they've intimated they're going for it, but the fact that Ann Taylor has got onto this and had this motion had this motion filed, and then it's been accepted, and you've got to sort of show probable cause essentially as to why you should. I thought that was the biggest bit of news we've had in weeks. Surely. But maybe because I live in a country where we don't have the death penalty, to me it's fascinating. But I would have thought if you're going to go live talking about this motion being passed in the court, well, it's actually in front of a commissioner. It's not actually in the court. It's a commission that funds the public defenders to do these trials. Wouldn't you be honing in more on the fact that that's standard legal procedure when the death penalty is likely to be put on the table? I don't know. There was a lot of discussion with Chris Watts about the rechecks not wanting the death penalty. Like, it's kind of a thing that you guys chat about a lot in the true crime world. Well, me too, but yeah, it kind of, gross to see her smiling in court. I think I will be following it. the trial. But correct, Ozzy. But is there anything more dramatic to sensationalize about than the death penalty? And then I only listened to a bit of him. Then his cat appears and he starts talking to his cat in this really weird baby language. Actually, look. There's no sign of Stefan. So it's your fault, Stefan. I'm going to have to, I'll do a separate live about it because I just think it's really interesting that they've potentially preempted the prosecution's going to be pushing for the death penalty, that they've already got this second attorney funded by this commission and appointed this early. Like, and it's, yeah, the most sort of, I think, interesting, like all the search warrants and stuff like that. Yeah, the documents, like, let's see all that stuff when it gets tendered. But this to me was kind of big. I haven't watched a case before at this part of the proceedings where the death penalty is being considered potentially and the process you have to go through. So for me, it was all kind of fascinating, but I couldn't believe he wasn't really getting pumped up about that. But I might add, neither were other people that were talking about it. It was sort of provided as an update. But maybe, again, maybe they're just immune because they're Americans and they're used to the death penalty. But for someone who lives in a country where it doesn't exist, it's kind of odd. Speaking of odd, I mean, to be fair, I love that he loves cats. I do. I'm not picking on the cat. I'm picking on how he talks to the cat. Yeah, but it's still, it's sort of, you know, when he was arrested and charged, like every news report and news bulletin and channel that's covering it was like, you know, Idaho is a death penalty state and, you know, will they be pushing for it and blah, blah, blah. And then there's what I seem to believe from the research that I've done is a very obvious sign that at the very least defense is expecting it. So they're getting organised well in advance. So they've got this lawyer and the court, I mean, the commission to pass this motion. You know, they've probably gone, yeah, okay, fair call. We get it. Let's do it. But they've all been silent on it. But, yeah, no, I'm not picking on the cat. The cat's gorgeous. And I'm actually excited to have found something to like about JLR. He likes cats. Loves cats. This cat in particular. However, they've got a language and the cat seems to be fluent in it, which surprises me because as far as I'm aware, all cats are fluent in Vietnamese and nothing else. But this is a baby voice, in my view, if I can find it.
$200 a week.
Here's the poor guy trying to find the time symbol on his computer. You know, when you do, like, when you're adding up figures, he can't find the multiply button. All right.
I'm a little confused. I'm just in total.
I'm actually sharing it with you yet. Yes, I am. Pretty grabby keyboard, but, you know, he's a dude. Not surprising, but I can't stand looking at grabby keyboards. Ugh.
Total. Where is it? Oh, and look.
And I swear to God, if my keyboard looked like that, there's no way in hell I would ever let a camera go anywhere near it. Double penetration. Oh, sorry, you were correcting it because you put T-O. Yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense. but it's still it's a development that I think warranted some discussion. But they'd rather all be, still crapping on about how Dylan must know something. No sign of Stefan. But this was all I wanted to show, was that this cat clearly trusts him because it lies on its back and lets him rub its belly and everything. But it's the little voice that I actually had to mute because Sonny was getting a bit freaked out by it earlier.
Look.
Come here. Hello. Look what I got for you. Hello. 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 We all love OJ, don't we?
But mind you, the cat's name is OJ, which, might be orange juice for short because it's an orange cat, ginger cat. And the cat's clearly loves him and trusts him. And I know, but the voice. Thank you, Ozzy. Report him to cat protection. It's like this guy's like a caricature. He's like he reminds me of the cartoon character. Oh, it's just gone out of my brain. When it comes back to me, I'll Google it to make sure. But this voice, it's like you can just I just go, "G'day, Sonny. How are you, Sonny? Hey, gorgeous." Oh, and she's coming over. Hello, beautiful girl. Hi, beautiful. Oh, you're a good girl. She's so cute. She gets when she wakes up, she gets a little bit vocal. She's like when toddlers or babies wake up and they're all sort of still half asleep and chatty. And she doesn't like being picked up and held, but there's that tiny window when she's just starting to wake up and she's a bit chatty that she actually loves a cuddle. She's really cute. The cat has to be nice or it won't get fed. The cat is really cute, but it's called OJ too. Hey, humanimal. Aloha. That's what I said to my scammer earlier, but he's gone AWOL, unfortunately. Stefan's away. But that's all right. We've started the series. Now we're listening to JLR talking to his cat. It goes on for a while. Here's more.
Don't we love you?
She saved me from not finding the times button. Yeah, she just rolls over. Look at that. Look at that.
Hello. Hello. Let's see your beautiful face. Let's see your beautiful face. Hello. How you doing? Everyone loves you.
She does have a beautiful face, but what's with the voice? Like, honestly, your cat would scratch her eyes out if you use that voice. Sonny, what would you do? No, she's like, I'm busy tidying myself up on the ottoman. So, like I said, I'm glad that I've found a reason to, there's one thing about him I really like is that he likes animals and cats. I think any human being who's a fan of animals, I'm good, awesome. But then I heard the voice and I was like, dude, but the cat loves it clearly. A touch of Cartman from South Park doing his Dolly voice. It's just so weird to me.
A nice person named Karen got me this fishy.
Hello. 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 Let's hear you meow. Meow. Yeah, meow. Hello.
I think she just said, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, she's good.
Hello. Hi.
Okay. Let's go back to work here.
Go back to work. Oh my God. I confess, I have all devices when it comes to animals. Look me up. This is, yeah, it is. It's a brownie point. Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. I can't stand it when adults talk to babies in baby voice. It's like every child that's ever passed its way through in my life, like nieces and nephews and cousins and stuff, I've just spoken to them in my normal voice like an adult, and they seem to understand me. I didn't have to do the like teach them English. You know, this scammer and he's fluent in Dublin. This guy who Animal, my new scammer, told me his English is his second language. His first language is Dublin. He's pretending to be Irish. That's better than the Heathrow Airlines, almost. Yeah, he's got to go back to work. I know, right? You don't do it to human, baby. Just, yeah, look, animals do make us all get a bit good, but I wasn't expecting, hello. I can't do it even. I can't even go that high. Is it Tintin? Hang on. Yes, yeah, that's what I was thinking of. He reminds me, I mean, not completely, but there's something Tintin-y about him. Hang on. I didn't even really get it. I've got to find one that looks a bit like him. Oh, there's Tintin with a dog. Yeah, but he's sort of he's like a caricature to me. Oh, now the one I clicked on, it's opened up this whole page of different Tintin things. Come on, I just need a picture of Tintin. What are you doing to me? I've done it again. If I click on anything, it takes me away. Hang on, I'll just share this whole bloody picture. Hang on. Tell me he doesn't look a bit like Tintin. Or just the caricature sort of concept. Like, honestly. This one. This is the one I just opened or tried to open in it. Hang on, can I expand it? Oh, shoot. Where'd it go? Where did it go? Okay. I'll try it again. I'll see if I can just download a picture of him. And see, now I've gone to his Wikipedia and it doesn't even have his picture. It's just a whole lot of text and all of his shows and books and crikey. Yeah, why is Tintin so famous? That was one of the questions. Yeah, good question. Why? Come on. Just give me a photo of his friggin' face. I can just... Every article that I open, there's no... Oh, wait, hang on. Although it's missing the top of it. Oh. Look, he looks like a caricature. Tintin, I don't know what the hell is going on with Tintin. Tintin is the most un-Google search friendly. Like every article about him, there's no pictures. It's just text. This is so weird. For God's sake. That's the best I can do. Crikey, malarkey. Here. Finally, I found a stamp and I just zoomed in on it. But do you know where I'm coming from? Because he's got these really bushy eyebrows. I love that he keeps talking about Dylan, and then she saw the bushy eyebrows and I'm like, mate, your eyes are bushier than Brian Koberger's. Is there something you're not telling us, dude? But the rest of him, he's just like this, no whiskers, sort of this complexion, the little sort of pencil nose, the cap, but you get it too. Good. Anyway, I don't know what to do. My buddy hasn't come back. I'll just say, shame, I missed you. Chat soon. Good night and stay safe on the high seas of Yemen. And the story of Stefan will continue. Unless anyone has anything else they want to talk about. Will we go to YouTube? I don't know. It was so weird. It was nearly impossible to find it. I mean, I'm glad that I just went back to the images and just expanded the screen as much as I could. But yeah, I find him to be very Tintinish. I can't remember. There was a YouTube creator who said, because he's got his little media cap and his little press T-shirt or vice versa, and said he looks like a kid in a costume, and it's a perfect description. And this kid's like, today when we go to book club, they have book week and they all dress up as characters. Tomorrow for book week, I want to go to school dressed as a journalist. And the mum's like, well, I've got a cricket. I can make you a media cap and a press T-shirt. Will that do? Sure, mum. Anywho, Grooves. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know what happened to my buddy. He actually, I could go back to Instagram and just double check. Maybe he is actually working on someone else right now. The beauty of Instagram is it tells you straight away if they've read it. And if all else fails, if Stefan just goes down the gurgler, I have got Justin in the background as another option. Yes. Yeah, that was actually a channel I was talking about earlier. I have an issue with them. I don't really like. I don't know if it's the way they edit it, but they never really explain properly to people. Like, a lot of the victims think that the photo, when they talk about how it's a real person, but it's not, they don't clarify it's not the scammer very well. But I also don't like that they push people to buy a paid membership for their website so they can access tools to do their own searches to see if they're talking to a scam or not, when the bulk of that stuff is already available online for free. So, yeah, I'm not sure how I feel. But I've been listening to them on and off for the last week or so. Just they're good driving along stories. But it's also got to a point too that you hear them, they give the victims, 10 minutes to talk about these scammers, and they just tell the bullshit story they were fed. And I don't think they should be using 10 minutes of those videos to indulge these women to tell the story when everyone knows it's a scam. They should be talking more about the statistics and how many people get scammed, and they should be offering these people counselling services and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, I wasn't expecting to have a rant about them. I mean, the more awareness, the better, but I feel like they're cashing in on it. Unfortunately, they're sort of putting themselves out there as doing the right thing, but they even say, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment because it might help someone not get scammed. And it's like, no, it's going to help build your channel. The end. Yeah, there's quite a few that have more on the go, or they get told all the information and it's clearly a scam and they still keep talking to them. I mean, there's some people you just can't help. But if we're talking about the same channel, you do need to watch. Is it Scamfish? Or are you talking, because there's a story about a woman who sold a house to fund the scammer. But if it's Catfish, the TV show, they did a really good job. But the Catfish / Scamfish are the ones I'm talking about. Yes, I think we are talking about the same one. Yeah. Yeah, it's disappointing. And, please make sure you comment and share your story. And the next thing, they're interviewing these people. But, yeah, just don't. I mean, there was one woman, I don't know if you've seen Jodie or not, but she's a shocker. And she's racist and just horrible. But, yeah, it actually, listening to them for the last week and a bit, listening to a few of the stories, I was like, I really want to do scambaiting again, because I feel my style of scambaiting is more ethical, because I actually go through and I show grammatical red flags, like starting sentences with am, and, the sort of the backstories. If somebody does stumble across one of my scambaiting things, at the very least, they know that Australians alone lost $460 million last year just to romance scams. That's a shitload of cash. And they don't even put, that kind of detail into their videos either. They just totally use the victims. And, yeah, there's, we're here for you if you ever need us. It's like, no, you're not. And you're not professional counsellors. And anyway, that was my rant. Yes, Catfish, the show with Nev, was ages ago. It became contrived, and he admitted that. But I also loved that it was, him being catfished by this chick, Angela, and they ended up becoming friends and then decided to tell their story in a doco, and then the show took off. It was at a time where there wasn't a lot of information out there for people who were being scammed, except for websites and stuff. So, yeah. But most things that get big and out of control end up losing their way and losing their morals, Oh, that's awesome. If there are ones that are raising money for victims. I mean, this Catfish, Scamfish mob, when the women are when they say to them, you need to put in a report to the police, and they're like, well, what are the police going to do? I've already rung them before. They didn't do nothing. And they actually get really firm with them, and they're like, well, you willingly gave your money to a stranger online. So don't expect people to be bending over backwards to help you. And admittedly, some of these people have attitude and they do need to be put back in their boxes a little bit, but it's not comfortable listening, That's a lot considering America lost $1 billion. Yeah, it's taking a heap of money out of the economy for sure. It's a nice feel good, be nice to the nutter and try to make them stop. I'll just put that article back up too before we sign off, beautiful people. Oh, shit, did I lie about the amount? I did. It's 40.5 million. Sorry. What did I say? $500 million, I think. Sorry, it is 40.5 mil last year. 40.6, actually. That's just right. Oh, I think I just said 460. Sorry. It's late. I'm not braining very well. What I'm guessing is Nev knew at Ground Zero it would be a film, not entirely believing and then it grew into this movement. I think the original premise he knew and then made the film. Possibly. I don't know. I haven't really looked into him that much. But I mean, I know from one of the first, maybe the very first episode of Catfish, he said, after the film, he started getting all these emails. And then after a while, he was like, why don't we start telling their stories? But I mean, I'm not going to knock the guy either. If he if he can retire now and whatever, there are people that get out there and do stuff like I do. And I mean, my channel's never going to be huge. Maybe I'm just not that likable, but whatever it is, like if there are people that succeed and get the stories out there and so on, great. I mean, I'm amazed at how many channels on YouTube are huge and monetize and make mountains of money. But if there are people that are dumb enough to throw money at them, well, who am I to say you can't do it? But yeah, I mean, I could have written a book, I suppose, when I got scammed, and my life might have been completely different, but I wasn't proactive enough. But I just wanted to see if there's any mention. Yeah, they're good value. Way nicer, don't you reckon, to Human Animal than the scamfish mob, the catfish scamfish crew? Oh, thank you, Kylie. And you're all the wind beneath my wings. Better than some other reality. Yay! Although that's another thing. I mean, I thought about it this year. I was like, do I succumb and do I go live covering Married at First Sight? Because there's so many Australian channels where they literally just replay the show and throw in some wacky comments that have got thousands of people watching them, It sucks when the formula to succeed on YouTube is so transparent and you're like, I just can't sell my soul to the devil. Like, I love Survivor, but there's former Survivor players that do the post-show analysis and discussion, and I'm just someone who loves the show. And also it's late, like the show's finished. You've got to go live after the show, and I can't. Like, I've got, work the next day. But doesn't it suck, when you work out the formula of how to succeed on YouTube and you're like, you've either just got to put your morals and ethics at the door and join the throng, or we just keep plodding along. And I'm happy to plod, don't get me wrong. But I also know, and Human Animal would as well, and anyone else who's got a channel, what you got to do. You've missed the intro to a new scammer, Joman. Good to see you, mate. But he asked me to move over to email, and he's away. So we'll be chatting to Stefan another day. But the start of my new romance with Stefan was entertaining, I think. Did you ever know that you're my hero? Oh, yeah, the content stealing channels. I had a rant about them in my car the other day, Human Animal. Did you? Oh, you applied for The Amazing Race? I applied for MasterChef. Yeah, he's one of the ones I was talking about, Aussie. He's got about 5 point something, hasn't he? But he can go live when it's over. I can't. Like, I'm stuffed. I've got to go to bed. I've got to get up at 5:30 to go to work. So watch the replay, those who missed it, because it's hilarious. It was pretty funny, if I do say so myself. But Groovers, I'm going to go to Bedfordshire. We've got a long weekend coming up in Tassie. Good Tassie. Good Tassie. Woo, woo. Do you know Tasmania has more public holidays than any other state in Australia? Tasmania is also currently being criticised because of Married at First Sight and a Tasmanian girl on there that's absolutely fucking despicable. And I have been going all over the place defending Tasmania because people keep saying, don't they have whatever in Tasmania? And I'm like, why is the whole state being blamed because a dickhead lives here? Like, what, you're saying there's no dickheads in New South Wales? Yeah, right. I can't stand those sort of generalisations. But Jimmy Rees did a thing about Tassie the other day, and I had a lot of fun in the comments under his stuff. I don't know if you guys are into Jimmy Rees, but fuck, he's funny. I haven't seen one for a long time, but I haven't been to Salamanca Market for a long time either, Aussie. The shrunken apple heads. Let me find you them to show everyone before I sign off. If anyone had given me one as a kid, I would have thrown it back at them. They're creepy. But I don't know if they started here. I think they're like, they might have, come from another country. I'm not sure if they're Tasmanian invention, and I apologize in advance if they are. Gee, I just want one in a little outfit. These are all really creepy looking ones. I mean, they are creepy, but they're just the heads before they've attached them to the doll. Like, that's not creepy too. But I want one like the ones that we had. Well, not that we had, but that were around when we were growing up. Give me a good example. So what they do is they shrink these apples and then they make them the heads of dolls. Oh, I don't think these are even Tasmanian ones, so I think we're clear. It's not just a Tassie thing, but let me show you. They're disgusting. Once again, let's just zoom in on this one. So yeah, that's actually a shrunken apple. Look at these two old tarts. They were the ones I was looking at before. Oh, actually, I did open them up on Pinterest. I opened the wrong page. But yeah, we grow a lot of apples in Tassie, so these sort of creepy shrunken apple head. Look at them. Look at these ones. And see, Americana. Phew. Okay, it's not just Tassie. The trout lady is ours, unfortunately. Oh, yeah, the untied Dave. Dave was fabulous. You've got some antique ones. They would gross people out. Yeah, they freaked the fuck out of me too, Emily. Ozzy, you've got a pair. You just have to run past. Yeah, I remember a girl bringing one to school one time, and I never cope with dolls and teddy bears anyway, but that just, Yeah, the apple head, they are creepy. I agree. Bye, beautiful Kylie. Sunnies. Just there's a gratuitous Sunny shot. She's sound asleep now. Yeah, there's no shortage of dickheads on the planet. They get more decrepit with age. Ugh. Is it a bit humid for you guys in Queensland? It looks like Yoda, Punch and Judy. There's no I know. I couldn't resist. I'm still scarred by her too. All right, lovely people. I'm signing off. There'll be the return of Stefan at some point, probably over the weekend because it's a long one. Although I've got the disabled surfers meet on Sunday. We're doing it again in the water, helping people experience the joy of catching a wave for the first time in their lives and just seeing the smiles on their faces. It's fucking awesome. I love it. So, yeah, we've got our second and final meet for this summer. It was a soft launch after COVID, so I'm very excited about that. But I'll be back with Stefan, faux show, faux shizzle, and until next time, beautiful people, don't get hit by it. Don't get struck by a smooth criminal or a shrunken apple head. I'll see you all very soon.
Chegou a baixa.
He left a blood stains on the carpet. Stripping underneath the table, he could see she was a neighbor. So she ran to the bedroom, she was struck down, it was her doom.